Hello, it's me once again. I want to talk about something, but it's another one of those days where I feel like I want to talk about something, but I can't put my finger on it. Recently, I feel like I'm becoming more aware of different thought patterns involving stress and tension. Now, these thought patterns, there's a couple different kinds. There's one where I'm just kind of zoned out and I'm thinking and visualizing of a situation that might come to pass. And I catch myself doing that. And that in itself is not bad. But what I'm doing is I'm kind of visualizing what I don't want to happen. Now, that happened earlier today. And as I was doing it, it was almost like I was trying to visualize the outcome that I wanted, but I wasn't doing it consciously. What I was doing is I was letting my subconscious take control. And it was kind of negative. It was it was not the worst case scenario, but it didn't have the direction that I wanted it to be. So it was it was counterproductive. There was no reason why I should be visualizing something that I don't want to happen. There's no point in that. It kind of reminds me of when I was in high school. I would do something similar, but at a way worse kind of situations where my anger would come out and different just bad things would happen that I didn't want to happen. And it made me view all of the different situations worse. It made me kind of resent some people even though they hadn't said stuff. That's why your subconscious is so much more powerful than you think. Same with your dreams. Because if you dream something negative happens or someone does a wrong to you, and you just live it in your mind. It's a dream. It's not real, but when you wake up, that's going to affect you. That's why I've seen on Instagram and stuff like that where girls would get mad. It's probably like some sort of skit, but girls get mad at their partner for cheating in their dreams. Now, their partner did not cheat in real life, but in the dream, it felt so real that they felt like they had to do something in real life to either prevent it or to ask questions, or they became paranoid. And that kind of shows the power of dreams in the subconscious, because the dreams in the subconscious are 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 pretty much one to one, right? Because I guess if it's a lucid dream or you're choosing in the dream what to do, you're a bit more conscious. That's more of the conscious mind rather than the subconscious. But even in a lucid dream, you can control things, but you're limited by your subconscious. Now, going back to what I was saying in the beginning, where I was noticing more patterns of negative or resistance thoughts or stressful thoughts. And those thoughts always came from amplifying real life, meaning like the 3D situations into what they could be worse. Kind of thinking of the what if this bad thing happens? Or what if this can't change? Or what if it's like putting yourself through a reality that you don't want just for you to stress about it and think about it in that way. I don't know if I'm making much sense right now. I am making sense. What I'm trying to say is that stress and anxiety are completely optional. You choose to either keep thinking those thoughts or you choose to shut them down. Those resistance thoughts to your reality are optional. You choose. Now, things pop up, ideas, feelings, the natural man. You can't control those things. You can't control them when they pop up, but you can control what you do when they do pop up. Now, this pairs along with manifestation. I don't know if I'm going to post this video. I may not. I might turn this into a podcast. Like what is his name? Like Leo Skeppy. I think I'm going to start posting these videos where I yap about my experiences, you know? So how I'm tying this in with manifestation is that I have bad habits of stressing and of worrying about things that are not needed. And those affect me. Those affect me to where I am manifesting those negative realities. Or I was. I'm aware of it now, and I'm changing. And what I'm trying to say is that it is becoming more and more of a habit in order to stop those thoughts and push them away. Realize that they're happening and not indulge in them. Now, I feel like many things are habits. I was thinking about this earlier too, where I was driving home. I was at the zoo today with my family. It was fun. But on the way back, there were multiple drivers that wouldn't use their blinker. Now, is it hard to flick two fingers for your blinker? No, it is not. Is it dangerous to not use your blinker? Yes, it is dangerous. Why don't people do it? They could be lazy. No, they can't be lazy. You know what it is? It's habit. Those people, actually, my brother said this. He said, if you learn how to drive wrong, you'll always drive wrong because it's a habit. And that makes me realize the same thing with your thinking. The more you do something, the more it becomes a habit. And the more it becomes a habit, the more it is in the subconscious. So it takes less conscious action in order to affect your subconscious in the way you want it to. Because everybody will have negative thoughts. Everybody will have intrusive thoughts. Everybody will you know, everybody thinks or is capable of thinking the same exact things. But it's their habits and their decisions that they choose that affect their subconscious, which affect their reality. Now, The reason why habits form with negative thoughts or negative interactions is because the feedback that you get in the 3D sometimes is somewhat positive. So, let me give an example. Let's say I'm super worried about public speaking, and I am given the opportunity to speak at some sort of political thing. I don't know what to say. And I get super nervous. Now, being nervous comes naturally, especially if you don't speak in public often. And if you speak in public often, that's a habit. Now, when you decide to give the talk or not, you decide to go up, you do it, it sucks, you're worried, but then you're done with it. It's over. You didn't die. You might have stuttered, you might have made some weird tone speaking, you know? But if you were worried and you decided, no, I'm not gonna public speak. I'm not gonna give this political talk. What's gonna happen? The reinforcement of public speaking equals bad and stress is rewarded. So it becomes sort of becomes a habit that you, every time you want to public speak, you think, oh, I was really stressed this time and I didn't do it. Oh, thank God I didn't do it. That would have sucked. But if in reality you did the public speaking, it's not all that bad. And that was a very broad example, because there are many things in life where you can get stressed about. It could be talking to a girl. It could be going to the gym. It could be your relationship with money. You know? Every time you think of going to Walmart, or let's say a gas station, and grabbing 3 Monsters. If every time you go and think about getting 3 Monsters, you go and check your bank account and you're like, oh shoot, I have $50 to spare in there. Oh, and this cost this, and this. Oh, that's 3 Monsters. Oh shoot, that's gonna be $7.67. I'm sorry, I won't. 6 7. Okay. I'm sorry. My brain. That's so hilarious. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Um, every time you go to the gas station, if you look at your wallet and you get stressed, you're gonna have a bad relationship with spending money. You're gonna have a bad relationship with getting Monsters, and you're gonna have a bad relationship with I don't know, being happy. I don't know. And I'm not an expert. I'm just observing and trying to connect different patterns that I find. I'm still understanding everything. And yeah, I don't know what to do. But I'm becoming more aware, and my understanding is increasing. I don't know what you should learn from this or take away, or if there's a call to action. I don't know. This is just information that I'm going to be putting out here about my life. Yeah. Oh, I have one more thought. This relates all to inner peace and flow. Inner peace. When you think about peace, what do you think about? You think about the lack of bad stuff. Now, Let's give an example. Let's say a kingdom has been war. Let's say a kingdom has been at war with another kingdom. Let's say there's a red kingdom and a blue kingdom. They've been at war for, let's say, 100 years. And they finally stop the war. One wins, and there's peace. They are at peace. Peace is a lack of the negative, right? Because if the war kept going, there would not be peace. This is a very, very surface level idea. Now, if you think about it, peace is relative to what you think is war. So, let's say a kingdom hasn't been at war for 20 years, and they are living in a peaceful time. But, people don't like the king. And they don't like the king because he puts too much of their taxes into the army. And they're like, they're living quite well. But they're like, they take so much money. And so then there is no peace because the village is mad at the king. But the king is protecting them with the army. You know? Otherwise, they would be at war. So what I'm trying to say here is that peace is relative to what you decide your war is. Now, if you decide, okay, wait. If you go back to your life and compare it to the kingdom having a war, your problems are not an actual war. They are the village getting mad at the king because they have 10% of their taxes. They're being taxed 10% in order for an army to protect them. What I'm trying to say, this is all just spewing out. I had no idea what I was going to speak about until now. And I'm pretty much done. But what I'm trying to say is that change your perspective in order to have peace. Change your perspective and you will have peace. Because, going back to the two kingdoms at war, and it's been 100 years, let's say there was a bigger problem. And the bigger problem is that there was a dragon terrorizing both kingdoms. Now, let's say before this 100-year war started, there was a dragon terrorizing, and they killed the dragon. Before the dragon was killed, they were at war. No peace. Until they killed the dragon, then there was peace. But then people started fighting. There is always going to be negative. Always. And it is your decision, your ability to look at situations and decide, I'm at peace, regardless of what is happening. That's why you have gratitude. Gratitude allows you to realize that wars that could be happening aren't happening. That makes sense. You know? I think that was a very insightful yap. You know? It's only 8. Oh my gosh. It's been dark for like 3 hours already. Holy moly. All right. Peace out.
Hmm.